BIDI 2. June 10, 2018. Testimonials, questions and answers. Well, BIDI is back, and will continue. Well, the word is yours. Voice. So there are written questions. Question. With regard to the question asked earlier about the cutlery needed to eat the other, you said that it was necessary to get in touch with the other, mutually, in an agreed time. Then you said you could eat the devil. How can we agree on this with the devil or with people who are still concerned about 3D? I said that thought and not was important. In other words, it is enough to think of the other and the other thinks of the one for this to happen. But of course, and you know this from your experience, many of you find yourself, if I may say so, absorbing both demons and brothers and sisters who are not aware of it. This is related to the resurrection. What I was talking about earlier, of course, is also the resurrection, but also the action on matter, on the body. So the process or information from one to the other is important and does not concern resurrection, but care. But be careful, you can also eat anything that comes up, spontaneously. So the thing I said corresponds to the moment when there is absorption of the other by mutual agreement, but there are obviously countless cases where, even when you're in alignment, you have a brother, a sister, a devil, whatever. All that spontaneously presents itself, must be absorbed. But if, for example, you decide to absorb, to eat the earth in its totality, obviously, it concerns the group. But of course, your action will be global, it will not be insignificant, but it will go where the intelligence of the light is most permeable. You don't decide. In the first case earlier, you decide to, and the decision is made by two people. But on the other hand, in the alignments, in the moments of fusion, in the collective exercises whatever they may be, there are no more limits, since you're together. So, we must indeed differentiate between the two cases. For those who travel in naked consciousness, the agreement of the other is absolutely not necessary. Because if you're in naked consciousness, then you're free and you are just as much the other no matter what he says and no matter what he refuses. Because at that moment, you are no longer in the person, from one brother to another brother, but you are far beyond the form, in naked consciousness. And no form can resist naked consciousness. This does not mean that you will be effective every time, since you must respect each other's freedom. In this case, you propose, he disposes. This is not the same as in the question that was asked earlier, concerning two entities in a body that connect with each other, to absorb each other. It is necessary to distinguish clearly from the collective order where many individual actions are made easier. And that is the goal, especially when there are journeys that are made on earth, anywhere, where those who travel in naked consciousness are somehow fed by all those who are connected at the time of the alignment of the blaze or what you want. Every time it's different, but overall, as soon as you're in naked consciousness, there's no problem anymore. And I would even say, for those of you who do not experience any of these processes, no vibrato processes, it has been said, I said it and ever said it again, you are connected by heart and head. So if you don't feel the heart, there's nothing to stop you from going through the head now. Since thinking is operative. You're in the full phase of the word, you're in the phase of conscious co-creation, which is a conscious co-uncreation. And the rules are not the same, the intensity is not the same. The whole is more or less complete, if I can put it that way, but it depends on countless factors. It is necessary to differentiate between what is achievable in collective moments when you do not even need to travel or move, simply by placing yourself in what you do not feel, that is, in heart, with your head, so that the action can be done in the same way. So all these elements interact with each other, but there is only experience and living. Do not put rules and frameworks first, do it and you will see. Live it, or not. But if you haven't tried and if right away, because I said that in certain circumstances there had to be an agreement of thought, no time, synchronicity has no interest at the temporal level, it is a synchronicity of consciousness and thought, or at the heart, if it is the heart that is active and perceived. But don't put a frame where there really isn't one and where freedom takes precedence over any frame. Everything is open, everything is free. You have not yet fully conscious it because it has been explained, beyond all karma, beyond any state, if I can say, of consciousness, there is the weight of habits. Look, many brothers and sisters who live the truth are convinced that it is a dream. But no, what they experience in these moments is the real thing. It is here, when you come back into the person, that it is unreal. You must be reversed, even the understanding must be reversed. Most of the time, when you have images, when you move around, it seems so big, so beautiful or so surprising, that you always ask yourself the question, did I dream? But no, you're not dreaming, it's the only truth right now. Since the ephemeral disappears. So, you can't rely on past experiences, past states, you have to be totally immersed in the instant, without any reference to any past experience. Leave, there too, the freedom to live. You'll have all the time after the experience, to question yourself, to repeat the scenes. In general, these are dreams that remain formally inscribed, for the time being, in your consciousness. There is no effort to remember them. Because it's lived. And when it is lived, the particularity of this multidimensionality is that it is not lived at a given moment and it disappears, it is lived at every moment, all the time. Even if you do something that has nothing to do with it. So practice, without any barrier, without any frame in your heart, and you will see for yourself what will happen. This was explained, I believe, by the sidekick last month, regarding the process of self-healing through the movement of the hard breathing. I didn't want to go back on that, but if you accept that, at some point you'll find that you have no effort to make, no inability to maintain, and no attention or intention to pay. You will always be the truth and you will be like Christ when he says, "Who touched me?" The woman is healed. You will no longer even need to emit any energy, vibration or intention, because here too it will become obvious. The gaze of love transmutes everything, without effort, with less and less effort. The light is from everywhere, love is from everywhere, you can see it well. The action of the elements, the inability of the bad boys, as the commander said, to carry out their actions as they'd planned. They're frozen, not you. Love is not meant to be lived in your own corner, all alone. Love is now made to be manifested. Come into action, through the word, through the light, through the evidence, through laughter. That's how you act for earth and on earth. And every day, as the sidekick said. He called it a pandemic, but it's a total pandemic. The proof is that even those who put their finger on what is happening, even if they've not experienced anything, are carried away into love. Nothing can resist love. We can continue. Voice. So this is a testimony. Testimony. On the day of Mary's visitation at the end of May, very tired during the day, I went to bed. After a long time, I thought to myself, you have to get up. And then a dream began. So I get up, and I find myself in the room full of people. People look at their mobiles and say, we have to go. I also have to go to this place, but I have to go get something. I'm going out to get that thing I forgot. When I come back to this place I left, I get more and more tired. I arrive at a staircase going down. I'm coming down. This staircase never ends. It's getting darker and darker, and I'm getting more and more tired. I arrive at the bottom of the four-legged staircase, at a low door. That's good, I'm passing it without any problem, because I'm on all fours. Small laughs, I continue, more and more tired, crawling down a dark corridor. And then all of a sudden, a door opens. I find myself standing, white and bright, in a white and bright place. There are lots of people, all white and bright. Among other things, your sidekick who explains certain things to certain people. And I wake up. End of the dream. Gratitude. Thank you for everything, BIDI. So I will not interpret this dream, since the interpretation is obvious. It is not a dream. You went through a dark tunnel after going down. You went through the time tunnel. Going through this tunnel of time that causes wear and tear and fatigue. Once you agree to go through the tunnel, the door opens and there it is replaced by the wide standing position. So, passing through the time tunnel leads to space without time. This is exactly what happens, in an incomplete way, in the process of biological death in each incarnation. The tunnel crossing, the light in the distance, with the interference fringes, the family members and the hideous ones who are there to tell you to go back, that you have something to do. And others cross over and go behind the light. What you have experienced is the timeless access to ultra-temporality. That is, the abolition of time or, if you prefer, zero time. It's not a dream, it's reality. With a decor that can change, but it's always the same meaning and action. Moreover, as I said, countless brothers and sisters in incarnate humanity are going through this process. But they are no longer dreams, since the astral no longer exists. There is no longer any imagination, except in the past or in projections. There are just the archetypes. We can continue. Question. What is the meaning of the flashes visible on the left? Thank you. Eyes closed or open? Voice. It is not specified. It's difficult to answer. So I'm going to give you the 3 or 4 possible answers. The first one. You don't have the third eye in front of the hole. Laughs, so it's shifted to the left. Laughs. The second. The 12 stars of the head that were the head on the crown, at the level of the body of eternity, gather in front, on the forehead. Some may be more active than others, depending on what you do or what you are, giving the perception of either central or shifted light to the left or right, or on the wall, or on the inside screen. It comes back to the same thing. Thirdly, as it is on the left, it can also be a presence. But if there is a presence, there are not flashes of light, but something I would call extremely fast flashes with a strobe effect. This is a presence. Or maybe a medical explanation is called a retinal detachment. Laughs, but since you don't specify that, I can't know that. So we can continue. Voice. So I have no more written questions. So, oral questions or oral testimony. Silencio. Testimony. I wanted to say that for about a month now, I have had intense burns on my neck, which come and go, disappear, move. And since I've been sitting next to you, it's getting unbearable. Laughs. I'm burning all your weights. I'm talking about the psychic weights. Laughs. As long as it doesn't smell like grilled chicken, you're safe. Laughs. More seriously, but there is nothing serious about it, when you feel a burn, not on the earth triangle, but in the lower part of your neck, it means that you have not finished carrying your cross. You think you have to wear a cross. It is in the moments, you will notice it, if it is not completely burned, because of our presence next to each other, you'll see that in the moments when you are too much in the ephemeral, it becomes more heavy, as soon as you think of yourself, as soon as you think of the ephemeral occupations and that they take precedence over eternity. At that point, it gets heavy. It's heavy. It's an invitation to let go of all the weight. What are the weights? It's the suitcases. But you know very well that you can't pass the eye of the needle with the slightest suitcase, you have to be naked. The sacrifice, it's there too. And on a more concrete level, you are setting yourself on fire, to your earth, to the triangle of earth. It also indicates that despite the weight still present, there is still this combustion of the ephemeral that is taking place, it is real. Then, you'll see, in a few minutes, we'll activate the fire at the fire triangle. Laughs. It's starting, by the way. We can continue. Laughs. Voice. So there are questions. Sister, I would like to give a testimony. Voice. So this is a testimony from a sister. testimony, yes, that I experienced earlier, during the first intervention. When you were talking about being in phase and hitting each other, and eating each other, to my great surprise, I received a breath that hit me all the way to the right side and then strongly to the right forehead. And I was so surprised that I had tears that flowed. And then something wondered inside me, why not the heart, why the forehead? And at that moment, the heart reacted, and there, I remembered a word of Agape from yesterday, which spoke of absolute love. And that's where it ended. So, without going into detail, so as not to overload yourself, you're talking about the head to the right. Sister. Yes. Was it a star? Sister. No, it was there, here. Voice. It was further forward on the front, upwards. It doesn't matter. Everything that happens between the stars' clarity and precision, as I said, you have the 12 stars. So, the 12 spiritual virtues and potentials, which allow us to manage in multidimensionality. Of course, the crown of the head, whether it is the entire, deployed or active crown on the front of the forehead, is connected to the heart. It is the vibrational flow from head to heart. So, it is enough, and you show it by the same, by saying to yourself, why not the heart, to feel the heart. It's that simple and stupid. Laughs. What more do you need? More concepts, more safeguards, more precautions. There are no limits. You have to dare. If you don't dare, how can you know and live it? You stay within the concepts, within the limits. I don't know, practice eating strangers, not to heal them, but to hit them. Go eat the heads of state, ministers, bankers, financiers, the media. Eat everyone who participates in this mockery, who holds the controls. You'll be delighted. They, a little less. Laughs. But that's all right. They'll cry a good cry and then they'll laugh. To complete the very first question, I would say that the quality, not of the result, but of the quality of the experience, is necessarily more alive, if I can say, when there is this alignment, by thinking and not by time, with a brother or sister. But the result is the same, even without asking anyone for anything. And besides, you have nothing to ask for, since the other one is you. He doesn't know it, you do. What are you waiting for to reveal to him that you are in him and that he is in you? There is no need for any one agreement. But of course, the quality of the experience of eating the other or being eaten by the other will be less noticeable, but will nevertheless be achieved at the level of effects. It can't be any other way, it's impossible. Silencio. Who is speaking? Question. If a wise being who represents nothing eats a being who is love, is communion made, and at that moment, the person. But you know very well that there are countless brothers and sisters on earth who simply discover my voice, they listen to me for 3 minutes, they are reading. Because there are no more veils, there is no distance. So, of course, if you address BIDI, ever, the sidekick, even without telling him, you will experience the same effects, as I said. You don't need to ask him for any agreement, since that's what we're here for. We're not here to play that clown, we're here to give you everything. We have nothing to take from you. Then call us also in the silence of your heart. And you will see that if you think of me, I will be in you or in front of you, and I will talk to you. Same forever, same for any of you. There is no need to believe, just to dare, to accept that what seemed impossible to you yesterday is the truth. And that's the truth, there's no other way. There is only love. And since there is only love, we recognize each other. It is this contagion, this pandemic. And besides, Eber told you, he set all this to music, he set it to rhythm, but it is you who play the score. You're the one who guides the rhythm, the tempo. And the more you dare to eat, receive, absorb, give yourself, the more this embracing dynamic is realized, the more you densify the light in its quality, in its clarity, in its intensity. As we told you, we need you, because we go through you. and the simple fact of thinking about me or listening to me is enough. You don't need to ask, since I'm here, like Ebba, like Mary, like so many others. Do not personify, do not worship. That's normal. Who wants to testify or talk, or question? Voice. Yes, we have a question. Question. Are the stars on the forehead distributed in a circle or merged? How can they be made the most effective in action? Repetition. Are the stars on the forehead in a circle or merged? They're not in a circle, they're online. And this online grouping of the 12 stars between clarity and precision from the OD point will achieve what is called the true third eye. Not the third amputated eye, deprived of the heart, but the third eye revived by the heart and the head. This is what triggers the promotion of the 12 stars, at the moment you leave, either the body of eternity or in naked consciousness. And I remind you that Ebba had anointed your forehead at the collective level. The dresses are starting to be washed, not yet collectively, but more and more of you are coming out of the dream. Whether it is through archetypes, songs, images, mergers, fires, listening to me, listening to a brother, listening to Ebba, it is the same thing. Everything has been calculated. Nothing can be left to chance. Everything is exactly in its right place, no matter what you think. It has been said, the intelligence of the light takes care of everything. And you are the light too. The will of the person, except the intention, and the embracing posture, are more than sufficient. You don't need anything else. No perceptions, no visions. You just have to live it, that's all. Everything else, visions, images, archetypes, symbols, they are just supports, specific to this world, or to other worlds. Silencio. Before giving you the word. Moreover, in a few days' time, I will be speaking with you here and all over the world, at the same time, for mergers with BIDI. And you will see in your testimonies, in what you are experiencing, that many of you have seen me, heard me and felt me in them. It's over then. There, I will give the time, so that consciences will be present at that time. Not to make my task easier, I do not need time, but simply to ensure that the common resonance is achieved, since it is collective, as I explained earlier. You won't know what time it is today. Laughs. Who is speaking? Testimony. A few days ago, I was sitting in my chair, at home, I had a computer on my lap, I was working on the computer. Repetition. So our sister says that a few days ago she was sitting in her chair, at home, with her computer on her lap, because she was working on the computer. Ah, I thought she was hugging him. Laughs. Next. And I fell asleep. I had a dream, I can't remember the dream. And then, I don't know how long it took, and when I came to, I couldn't move, neither leg, nor an arm, nor anything at all, like a stasis, the whole body. You will also notice, after the mergers, after the moments of rest, that you are lucid and conscious, but that the body no longer responds. It's going to get more and more intense. Everything that you experience beyond the mergers is there to promote the event, to live it in serenity, so that you may be more and more numerous, after the event whatever it may be, to assist, through the light that you are, all that is not yet totally light. Don't forget that creation is a dream, individual, but also collective. Especially in this world where everything is separate, where everything was separate. So, yes, whether it is when you wake up in the morning, whether it is in an unexpected sleep, whether it is in mergers, in the fire of love, you will find that when you return, when you disappear or leave in the body of eternity or in naked consciousness, or with both, or when you return, it takes a certain time to recover the body. And that's normal. This re to the body reflects precisely that eternity becomes heavier than the ephemeral, and more present. You acclimatize, really and concretely, to your multidimensionality, before being absolute. And this, at the collective level. For the moment, as you said, it is mainly a form of anesthesia, paralysis, lower and now also upper limbs, sometimes of the head too, and rarely yet, but it happens. The proof, the whole body no longer responds. Yes, you can open your eyes. But that's not why that body's going to move. Is that right? Voice. She confirms. She says it lasted more than an hour. And it's very impressive. Because only the eyes can move, but you can't move your head or your little finger. Same sister. At first, I panicked, then I thought it was a stasis, so, here it is. This is normal, everything that is unknown worries. But as soon as you experience that, you know very well that you don't have to worry, that it's part of the process. It comes by itself. But you will experience this more and more, and over longer and longer periods of time. Since you're getting out of time. On the other hand, the person, the bag of meat, as it is there, you will notice when you come back that the time it seems to you to have spent, either disappearance, or in being, or in eternity, does not correspond at all at the same time on this world. Here too, it is a collective process, affecting the whole planet and all consciences. And the closer you get to the event, the more you will see what you just said. And imagine that for those who believe they are the body and only the body, when they notice that with their eyes open they can no longer move their body, there will be panic, total fear, since they're identified with this body. If what happened to you a few days ago had happened to you 10 years ago, I don't think you would have taken it the same way. Whereas today, as you say, apart from the legitimate question of what is happening to you, you did not react, you waited. And as you noticed that you have returned, the anxiety of the stranger has disappeared, too. Same sister. I didn't feel like I got out of my body or left, I don't know, somewhere. Voice. She says she didn't have the consciousness of having gone somewhere or of having left her body. I said disappear. When you disappear, and indeed, it happened to a lot of brothers and sisters, you are sure that you disappeared into nothingness. And then you have other brothers and sisters who will tell you that they saw you. And you are frustrated, since you had disappeared. That is to say, simply that the junction of the different consciences is not yet present, but that nevertheless, if you do not have the consciousness, it is already present. You didn't perceive it. As I said earlier, that doesn't mean you don't live it. But that it hasn't connected all consciences yet. But your return in these moments confirms, of course, that you have traveled, but that you don't remember. And besides, in the teams that travel all over the world, we see brothers and sisters, since I am there too, who don't even know where their bodies are. They have not yet joined the ephemeral consciousness, and yet they are in naked consciousness, that is, without a physical body and without a body of eternity. But the person's limited consciousness does not yet have the consciousness. But what you have experienced in your body, this body that you cannot recover, is not only a witness to your disappearance, but also to the fact that your body of eternity and your naked consciousness act without your knowledge of your own free will. And that's the most important thing. I don't need you. I need your heart, which is light. I need the bodies of eternity, not for myself, but for what is happening on earth. And if the voltage, the connection of your eternity body or your naked consciousness is too high, you cannot keep this consciousness through the body yet. It's too early. Otherwise, it would smell more like grilled chicken. Laughs. Who is speaking? Who is testifying? Voice. A sister who will ask us a question, I think. Testimony. I have been a massage therapist for 30 years, a former physiotherapist converted into massage therapy. Among other things, I work in the company also, regularly, once a week, I massage people in the company, on a table, not on a chair. And for about 20 years, I have always worked in consciousness, letting myself escape unconsciously, knowing that it is the light that works through me. But a fortnight ago, I had a slightly different experience. In fact, I was not practicing by letting the light do it, I had become light. And then, there were very special feelings all day long. But above all, what was interesting was that the people I massaged, who usually received my massage and who were very well, felt a difference. That is to say, they felt a warmth in their hearts and a great aliveness. And they couldn't get out of that state anymore, and they had a lot of trouble getting off the table to go back to work. Thank you very much. But that's exactly what happens, in every possible way, through your hands, through appointments, fires, symptonias, it's the same thing. Those who are awakened, if I can say so, within the illusion, whatever the technique used, whatever the tool used, the results are no longer the same if you yourself are light. Since you are contagious, whether it is from a distance, by hand, by eyes, by smile. So that's quite normal. So, of course, you may wonder, it was only that day. Because there is, there too, a learning process, which takes place at everyone's pace. Not the ability to integrate light, since you are, but simply to acclimatize, really, this bag of meat, so that it does not explode. Remember, the intelligence of the light is pure intelligence. That's wisdom. It's the Pist Sapphire. She doesn't need anything on her own. It is done by itself. But, once again, this intelligence decides the right moments, the intensity. Because the intelligence of the light respects, more than you do, what your body says, in its resistance, in its effectiveness. Silencio. Who is speaking? Testimony. Several times, I have felt and seen you in my heart, physically. You emanated such sweetness that I became a child again. You can call me Abba too. Laughs. Thank you very much. But as I said, you are countless to ask me. Especially those of you who fled when I arrived in 2012. Small laughs. Because they couldn't handle it. Today, they are asking for it, ardently. And I'm not being asked. Small laughs. Same sister. But why do I become a child again every time? Because a child is lighter than a little old man. Big laughs. I am speaking with full knowledge of the facts. Laughs. And it's not an image, it's the truth. Because when you find yourself in this inner child, you must have noticed remarkable effects, even temporary, on the functioning of this body, right? Same sister. Yes. 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 Soon, what do you call it, the pacifier? Laughs. And then the bottle, after. The bottle of light. The mouth remains open and swallowing the light continuously. Don't plan on taking your old bone pile with you. Laughs. Voice. She is very young, she is several times 20 years old. Laughs. I can hear the knees slamming when she laughs. Big laughs. Same sister. It's not mine, it's not mine. Then maybe it's your husband. Big laughs. He slams his knees or his teeth, I don't know. Big laughs. Be careful, the laughter grows. Laughs. Sister. He doesn't laugh. Big laughs. How can I be taken seriously afterwards? Laughs. And besides, I don't want to be taken seriously. Brother. Abolish the masks. Laughs. I'll pass it on. Laughs. Epa suggests don't shoot the pianist. Laughs. Or on the ambulance. Who else wants to talk, or say? Testimony. Since earlier, when you explained how to eat others, my eyes were closed and I saw that there were many, many people coming on top of me, so that I could swallow them. And after a while, I thought, oh, I'm gonna have to open my eyes to make it stop. Well, it didn't stop. Laughs. Don't you have indigestion? Indigestion is very simple. When you eat someone, the fire of the heart increases, then at some point you feel it gets heavier, it accumulates in the plexus and it has trouble going up. It's the same for a pain. In these cases, you have to persevere, you can't stop the meal. Laughs. You have to eat everything. So, it seems that Ebel likes songs. He suggests eat me, eat me. Laughs. In the same way as before, we told you to stay still for mergers. Now, even if you're in action and movement, it takes you anyway. Even immobility is no longer a criterion. You can see that all the preconditions are disappearing. And besides, what I just said about indigestion is true at first. Afterwards, you will find that you are so bulimic that everything passes. And the more you eat like that, the less material you need. That is, food, or even body mass. I give you the recipe for this summer's weight loss. Laughs. And it's free. Laughs. Question. And that's why it was said we'd never be hungry again? Exactly. Laughs. Question. And thirsty. No thirst, no hunger. You're always full. Voice. And endless. Laughs. Voice. Until more thirsty. You are no longer thirsty. Some of you are no longer hungry at all, for material. They are hungry for love, so they eat, they eat, they eat, they eat. I think that was illustrated, he said, Ebba. I don't know what he did, but through a game where we ate. I don't know what he's talking about. Sister. The pet man. That's what he told me. I don't know what that means, Pegman. That's not Bagman, I know that. Pegman. That's very well thought out, that's exactly what you're doing. You move within your meanders, through the tunnels of time, through the time frames, even without knowing it, and you eat everything you find on the road. Sister. In the pet man, it was like labyrinths, and there were bonuses, when they had eaten a lot of them. Well, it's the same thing, you eat 10, we offer you 15. Laughs. And beware, every time you laugh, you swallow one without knowing it. Laughs. Who is speaking? Be careful, sometimes you open your mouth, you're eaten instantly. Laughs. Question. When you feel a pungent spot in the middle of your forehead, what does that mean? Where, down or up, or in the middle of the forehead? Same brother. In the middle. Right in the middle. Where was the third eye in the past? It is the true third eye, resulting from the 12 stars, in this world. Not the one that it is connected to the visions of the astral, but the one that is the result of the 12 stars through a which, of course, comes to be placed in the center, which gives you access to the ether, to the vision of the ether, to the experience of the primordial ether, and therefore to the light. Same brother, thank you. Question. And what is the difference between this vision of the ether and the vision of the heart? Repetition. So is there a difference between the vision of the ether and the vision of the heart? Yes. The vision of the heart does not give a vision. It's a state of love. The vision of the ether, which is new, gives you to see all the dimensions, all the stories, all the archetypes. There is no limit. You can penetrate a grain of sand as in the planetary consciousness, as in the consciousness of a solar system. But the vision of the ether is only given when you have received the anointing of the Lord, that is, when your heart is able to feed the ether. When you became light, totally. But even without the vision of the ether and without seeing anything, I remind you that the Christ consciousness passes in the same way through the heart or the forehead. Even if you don't feel anything, even if you don't see anything. Who is speaking? Sister. The fact that you are talking about the point on the forehead, so I feel it and it is related to the point. Is it contagious? Repetition. Our sister says that since I asked the question, she feels the point in the middle of the forehead and in connection with the point on the top of the head. She asks if it's contagious. Totally. Laughs. Virulence, the degree of contagion, beats all viruses on Earth in terms of the speed of spread and exponential progression of the pandemic. We have been taking action since December, but especially since spring, to allow this extremely rapid spread even before the shock or event, making it possible to amaze the horn's reaction possibilities. Now it's too late. What do you want them to do? You have millions of brothers and sisters who will never again become sheep, will never obey. They will remain in the heart. Whatever they say, whatever they do, it's over. It's the agony. Not you, it's the resurrection. I'm talking about the illusion. Question. And are they aware of this, precisely, them? To see that it's over and there's nothing more they can do? Repetition. Are the horns stupid, conscious, sorry, to see that everything is over and that they no longer have any possible mode of action? There is nothing worse, and I believe the commander told you so, than a wounded animal. But there he is not hurt, he has been enlightened, he has been seized, frozen. And I doubt it will regain a great capacity for nuisance. Because as the commander said, there is no more carrot, but not only is there no more carrot, and they are also cooked. Laughs. You can speak whenever you want, right? Testimony. A few days ago, in a vision, I saw your face being built up in volume, in the shape of triangles. Repetition. So, our sister says that during a meditation, right? Sister. No. I asked to see him. Repetition. Oh yes, she had asked to see you, so she saw your head shaped like triangles, right? Sister. It gradually formed triangle by triangle. Repetition. All right. It gradually formed triangle by triangle. Sister. And I was so amazed that I thought I was making a movie. Repetition. She was so stunned that she wondered if she was not making a movie. Sister. And unfortunately, the experience stopped, because of that, I think. Repetition. And unfortunately, she lost the experience because of that. Woman of little faith. The dream and visions are real. Your reality is illusory, this world. Everything is reversed, turned upside down. Uriel, of course, has encouraged this. There is no turning back, no matter what, no matter what, no matter what. As I said, you are countless to see me, to feel me, to hear me. In my human form if you want, but you can go up above it. By transparency. And there you will see, from where I am acting, in ultra-temporality. And if I called Eba the sidekick, it was for a very simple reason. He has been incarnated here, with you since the beginning, in certain key costumes or key positions. In that I am, beyond any form, my affiliation to eternity, it comes from the triangle of earth, from Hayat HaKadosh of earth. Hence my voice shaking the earth, your body. Are you burning well? Laughs. You can't resist and you can't run. Laughs. What I mean by that is that what you call the four Hayat HaKadosh, the four living, the four horsemen of revelation, they are present on earth, in a body. Silencio. You may know the entities that correspond, in the body of flesh, to these riders. These are the ones who strike, by the power of the word, by the power of lightning, by the capacity of reception, for the triangle of water which is Isis, which is connected to the ether. A mother is what embraces all her children. A father is the one who puts everyone back on the right track. Silencio. When Eba saw that the resolution of the initial drama was taking place on earth, it is the strict truth. All this, he reveals it to you, and all this, you live it. Silencio. In any case, the inner revelations concerning the spirit and origin of the worlds, will appear to you more and more, internally or through certain unveilings, by the brothers and sisters, by Eba, by me, by Mary, by Michael. Collectively, I can say that you are coming out more and more of the dream and the nightmare, by the pre-pre of eternity, in time, intensity, duration and space, which puts an end to compartmentalization, fragmentation and fear, and to the person. Silencio. Voice. We are coming to the end of our walk with you. I think we'll all thank you and say maybe we'll see you soon. So I'll see you soon. Thank me and then I'll come. Laughs. All. Thank you. Thank you, BIDI. Thank you. I thank you and I eat you all. All. Oh yeah, yes. Applause. And BIDI says to you very soon. All. See you very soon. Hungered to everyone. All. Thank you, thank you. Goodbye. Through Jean-Luc Ayoun. Les Transformations. French transcript. Agape team. Spanish translation. DeepL.com, revised by LMF.